I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
If they built a roller coaster for road racing drivers, it would look a lot like Road Atlanta. The 2.54-mile, 12-turn circuit nestled in the Red Earth Hill Country, 35 miles north of Atlanta. Road Atlanta is today home to the American Le Mans Series highlight event, the 1,000-mile Petite Le Mans, and also hosts Sports Car Club of America National and Regional Amateur Sports Car Racing in the newly reborn Trans Am Series. Other Road Atlanta events included are the National Autosport Association, sports car racing, vintage racing organized by HSR and SVRA, a round of the Ferrari Challenge, plus professional and amateur motorcycle racing, karting, drifting, and Skip Barber racing schools and race meets. But from the day the track opened in the fall of 1970 with the running of an SCCA Can-Am race, drivers have found themselves alternately mesmerized and terrified by the serpentine rhythms of this challenging racetrack. A single lap begins with a gut-sucking, very fast uphill right-hand sweeper, followed by a left-hander over the crest of a hill and a right into the downhill and uphill combination called the S's. Then a brief downhill straightaway, followed by the banked 90-degree fast turn 6 and almost immediate hard braking for the slowest, tightest corner on the course. Turn number 7 leads onto the so-called back straight, which actually winds its pedal to the metal way right and left and up over a crest, then down a hill. A gentle right followed by a sharp left and right left were added following Don Panos' purchase of the track in 1996. This eliminated perhaps the scariest few hundred feet of pavement in North America, Road Atlanta's notorious dip, a suspension bottoming down and up taken by really fast cars at nearly 200 miles per hour, which was then followed by a very hard braking up a hill and through the thread-the-needle blind apex under the bridge turn 11, which is today negotiated under slightly less frenetic circumstances. The fast downhill run through the sweeping right-hand turn 12 onto the pit straight is just as hair-raising as it ever was, and that is a lap around Road Atlanta. Tonight it's the LSR Sportscar Series season finale, and it's coming up next on HBR TV. Getting into some race details, 65-degree ambient temperature, 91% humidity, partly cloudy skies, light 2-mile-an-hour breeze, track temperature 97 degrees. Practice just about wrapped up, a little over a minute remaining in the session. Let's get down trackside and see where everybody's stacking up. To no one's surprise, it's the James Vance and Andrew Locke show so far in practice. James Vance, best time, 1 minute 8.90 seconds. See if you can back that up in qualifying. Andrew Locke, Kyle Surratt, Sean Roberts, Tyson Pankow, that's the top 5 in LMP2. Then we've got Terry Crouch, Cody Steeg, Chris Pio, Dave Tamira. Those are your top 5 in GT3. It looks like Aldo Secklin may actually be in a prototype this week. We might have a bit of an issue with some color coding here. Aldo is listed in blue, though he is in a Ferrari, which is a GT. Very interesting. We'll see if we can correct that before we get into qualifying here. Well, we'll have to keep everybody apprised of that situation. Not sure why it's doing that, but practice is complete. We'll get into qualifying here right away. We'll see who takes to the track first. Looks like Dave Tamira going to roll out here. What makes it a little more confusing is Dave Tamira in familiar colors, but he's out there in a Porsche tonight instead of an LMP2, which we're used to seeing him in. Cody Anderson in the stream chat. Hi, Steve. Hi, Cody. How are you? Cody is always on the pole position here in the stream chat. Taking a look at point standings as we come into tonight. Break it down for you. The LMP2 championship point standings. I thank Kevin Blue for throwing this together for us. Kyle Surratt, Andrew Locke, Garrett Hagen, Sean Roberts, Matt Sisler. Those are your top 5 in LMP2 points. Kyle Surratt with the lead, mainly because I think he's just made all the races. Andrew Locke, James Vance there down in the 6th spot, haven't made 100% of the races. So certainly some points lost there. We'll see if they can make some of that up. The points are pretty close there within that top 3. Certainly can change hands, and we'll get a look at that as the race moves on. Going into GT3 points, Brad Crouch, Chris Pio, Cody Steeg, Blake Langley, PM Beagle, that's your top 5. Certainly not decided at the top of the field. It could be Brack or Chris Pio. We'll have to see, again, how this race progresses and how those points change throughout the course of the event. Hopefully we'll get some confirmation here post-race. Tell us who our champions will be in each class. Tamira in the Porsche, still on his out lap here. Hasn't even started the green flag lap yet. No one has registered a time. Keep in mind tonight, guys, it's not a 60-minute event. We are running the full 90 minutes. double points will be awarded to, so just bear with us post-race. Hopefully get Kevin Blue to feed us that information as soon as they can possibly get it to us so we can confirm our LMP2 and GT3 champs. Tamira's first lap, 1:19.26. Andrew Locke at LMP2, first lap, 1:09.304. Hovering right around his practice time. Taking a closer look at practice. Vance was fastest, 1:08.904. Andrew Locke about 7.5 tenths off of that. Kevin Blue runs 1:10.672. Second quick so far. Locke crosses the stripe, picks up the pace, 1:08.850. A very impressive lap for Andrew Locke. See Aldo Secklin out there in the Ferrari. Again, he's going to show as an LMP2. I'm not sure why. Unless that has corrected itself. Still doesn't show it. First lap for Secklin, 1:17.231. Currently fastest in GT. A couple drivers have not taken a time yet. James Vance, Sean Roberts might be related to some win penalties. We'll get to those in just a moment as soon as I can get my eyes on them. James Vance has an EOL at the start of the race. And then 2 drive-through penalties. This is for his 5 wins this season. Includes the win from Le Mans last week. His first drive-through must be taken after lap 1 is complete, but within the first 3 laps of the race. The second one can be taken at any time, as long as it's completed prior to the white flag being displayed. GT3 penalties, Terry Crouch will have an EOL at the start of the race for his win last week, also at Le Mans. Again, the session is a double points race. Certainly make up some ground here as Aldo finishes his lap. I'm in at 17:36. See if Sean Roberts can have some better luck this week. Certainly not been on his side most of this season. He's been fast. He's got the pace. Last week, I think, getting tied up into a first lap incident. Curious if Vance is just going to opt not to qualify. He can still go out there and lay down a lap. Doesn't really do him a lot of good because he does get the EOL. Little bit of a gear miss for Sean Roberts, it sounded like. Lap 1 for Roberts, 1:10.239. Looks like Sean Roberts currently the last car on the track to try and get a lap in. Again, Bill Mulfeld, James Vance, Terry Crouch all opting not to qualify, it seems. Crouch moved a little. Did not take any more time. Got Cody already said hi. Kevin Blue in the stream chat saying hi, Steve, as well. Kevin obviously running this LSR Sportscar series. The admin, he's got some help in the background as well, but kind of putting all the plans together, getting all the people in the right places is Kevin Blue, and also turned some laps out here. Sits fourth in qualifying so far. Sean Roberts on his final lap of qualifying. 109.922, picks up the pace, puts himself third. Officially 60 seconds remain in the session. I don't anticipate seeing anybody else take a time. So we're going to step aside, get another break out of the way before we get to our starting grid. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Road Atlanta. Michelin Raceway on the pole position for this final race of the Lone Star Racing Sports Car Series. It is Andrew Locke out of New York State with a time of 1 minute 8.850 seconds. Outside front row, Kyle Surratt just over half a tenth off the pole. The 18 will roll off outside front row. Row number 2, it is Sean Roberts in the 66 with Shenandoah Shine. Kevin Blue with Lone Star Racing, he starts fourth. Fifth goes to Tyson Pankow. Sixth starting position is Kyle Moyer. Seventh goes to Cody Anderson. Number 20 machine, James Vance, will roll from the 8th position. Final car on the LMP2 field. Aldo Secklin will start pole position in GT, though he is colored there as a blue machine. It is actually a GT3. Don't let it confuse you later on. Cody Steeg starts 10th, second in GT. Third in GT is Chris Pio. Fourth, Brad Crouch. Fifth goes to Harley Bathurst. Sixth, Dave Tamura, also a GT driver, but used to run LMP2. That would explain possibly the color change. Seventh, Blake Langley. Eighth goes to Britt Osborne. Ninth goes to Terry Crouch. Sorry, messing that up a little bit. And then 10th on the GT field, Bill Mulfeld in the 911. That's your starting grid here from Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Field just getting ready to roll here in just a moment. Shortened, abridged pace lap. So we have to worry about going around here too far. Still sit idle on the raceway. Or is this? This might be. Are we doing? No, we're not doing a standing start. What is going on here? We're getting ready still. I can see that much. Nope. No abridged pace lap. We're going to do the full pace lap. So we've got quite the lap here. Again, a 2.5 roughly mile race course. They get around here awfully quick at speed. So the LMP2 time in qualifying about 1 minute 8.5. That's really moving around this place. Staggered start, as you see once again. The LMP2 category and GTs are going to give each other some distance between the two packs. That way, if something crazy happens out in front with the LMP2 category, the GTs have time to get woed up and not become a part of the fiasco. Hasn't really happened this year. A little issue in Long Beach to start the season, but since then it's been pretty clean and green. Just about every start. Always wanted them to stagger these starts a little differently. Put the GTs out front and then force the LMP2s to work their way through awfully early. Guess that's why I'm not in charge.
Ready, green, 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 green.
Green flag waves were underway from Road Atlanta. Quickly, the LMP2s through turn one, top of the hill. Andrew Locke out in front. GT field underway through turns one, up the hill as well. Aldo Secklin, a little bit of pressure from Cody Stieg. Andrew Locke already gapping back to Sean Roberts. 3-second advantage already. James Vance taking the EOL initially. It's already worked his way up into the second position. You know he gets around this place really, really well. Just recently down in Atlanta, Georgia for some testing prior to Petit Le Mans. Unfortunately had an issue, wasn't able to compete in the race itself. I think it was more related to the race car more than anything else, but certainly wishes he had that one back, but instead he's here running this, the LSR Sportscar Series season finale. He's got some penalties he's going to have to deal with here. Let's see if he does it. Drive-through penalty on the first, within the first 3 laps, and then one more before the race is completed or before the white flag waves. Let's see if he can make up the distance. Again, it's not as terrible of a punishment, so to speak, because he does have a little bit more time to work his way back through the field. These races typically running in 60-minute intervals. Tonight, with 90 minutes, so it definitely gives him that extra half an hour to try and build up some of that advantage, build a gap before he makes that last penalty drive-through, and then try to gain it back, work his way back into scoring position. Meanwhile, though, teammate Andrew Locke still out in front by a wide margin. About 3.2 seconds back to Vance. In GT, Aldo Secklin still your leader in the Ferrari. Aldo racing from Peru tonight. Cody Stieg in the second spot. Not letting Aldo get too far out in front, but Aldo is going to be tough to beat. Interestingly enough, I'm seeing Dave Tamira did not take the green flag tonight. qualified 14th overall, but did not start the race. Don't know if he lost connection or had other issues, but nonetheless, no race for Tamira. James Vance in the pits for his drive-through penalty. Agonizingly slow. Vance running at 45 miles per hour while the rest of the field is 150 miles an hour plus. He's got to do this one more time before this one comes to an end, but let's see what kind of time he can make back up. Vance does come back out last in LMP2. About 5 seconds off the rear diffuser of Tyson Pankow for P6. Let's see if you can reel him in. Now that drive-through penalty is equivalent, if you get in and out nice and clean, to about a 26-second penalty. That is pretty significant. More so the fact he's got to do it twice, which is almost a whole lap. Again, they're cruising around here. Andrew Locke just ran a 109.54. So that's effectively 69.5 seconds. The first drive-through is 26 seconds. The second drive-through, roughly going to be the same. So you see Pankow off the course here. Now Vance is going to take that spot, move him to P6. So you're looking at a total of 52 seconds of penalty time driving through pit lane. So Vance somehow, some way, needs to find almost a whole lap of delta between himself and the leaders if he's going to try and finish top three here. Especially tracking down teammate Andrew Locke. It's going to be tough because they're both of similar pace. Pankow down pit lane. Don't know if this is planned or more related to his off track. Tyson Pankow in the pit box. Car doesn't look terribly damaged. Really, I don't see anything really wrong with it. Just tops off the tanks. I don't know if he had to burn a fast repair. The car looked halfway decent, but he's back down and away. Let's go back and take a look, see if we can figure out what exactly happened with Pankow. A little late into it here. We're going to back things up. Again, I hate doing that, but sometimes you don't have a choice. So coming down the hill, might have been too late to the brakes. It looks like he just drives it through the sand trap. Yep. Recognized it right away, knew he wasn't going to make the corner, just had to keep that thing straight. In essence, it might have been, no, it might have been a time penalty. I think he would have had more times in the pits if that was what that was. He could have just served that right out on track. Pankow had another issue? Or is this the same one? Nope, different issue. A little loose in the entry. Gets crossed up. Slow down penalty. This is more towards the exit of turns 1 and 2, it seems. Pankow sits there. Don't know if he opted just to exit the session or if he's really got that big of a slowdown. Either way, tough luck so far. Some major struggles here early on for the 91 of Tyson Pankow as he does begin to roll once again. We did have an issue with Kevin Blue as well. We'll bring that to you here. Oh, again, just on the brakes, a little too rich, maybe a little too quick on the throttle. Sends that number 54 around. Looks like that was through turn 6 and 7, and then Pankow comes up on him. So Pankow in the 17th position overall, effectively last on the field after 2 incidents already on the speedway. No contact with any barriers, that is a bonus. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but everything just froze. And it looks like to be iRacing related, so we're still streaming here, it appears. My curiosity is if I got dropped the way that we just did, which is truthfully in 2 years, I've never been kicked out of a session like this. I wonder if everybody got booted. We're going to try and get back in here. Stay with us. We're going to get to a commercial here, and we'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we got her back up and running again. Don't know exactly what happened, but the iRacing sim just completely locked us out. Luckily, we stayed with it. We got her back up and running. Hopefully, we go clean and green all the way to the finish here. Let's get caught up here. 13 minutes in here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta for the final race of the season for the Lone Star Racing Sports Car Series. Andrew Lott currently your LMP2 and overall leader. Sean Roberts, Kyle Moyer, James Vance, Kevin Blue, your top five. Then down in GT, it's to no one's surprise, Aldo Secklin with the lead in the Ferrari. Second place, Cody Steeg, then Terry Crouch, Chris Pio, and Brack Crouch. Keep an eye on Terry Crouch, winner at Le Mans last week. We'll see if he's got anything for Aldo Secklin. That is the battle I'm looking forward to see here later on. Again, if you're just joining us here, we did miss a few minutes of the broadcast. We had an issue with iRacing. The server is essentially kicking us straight out. No warning at all. We stayed with it, didn't lose internet of any sorts. We were able to get the sim reloaded, and here we are, 14 minutes in, 12 laps in here at Road Atlanta. There's some LMP2 traffic working by the GT leaders. Aldo coming in down the hill from turn 9 into 10 and 10B. More often than not on these road courses, the corners are individually named with station identification, whether it's for corner workers or firefighters, EMS, that sort of thing. They don't necessarily correspond with their turn number. They do to a certain extent. But again, coming down the hill from turn 9, the hard left turn 10, and then a hard right turn 10 as well. They call it 10A and 10B. But it is effectively, they called it turn 10, then 11, then 12, then of course start finish. Andrew Locke still out in front, started tonight from pole position. Current fast lap of the day, a minute 9:38. Last lap, a minute 11:83. Andrew kind of setting his own pace right now. He's got a pretty big advantage back to the 66 of Roberts, just shy of 13 seconds. Doesn't really need to push right now. Let's see how it looks on the inside of the LMP2 as Andrew Locke works his way around Road Atlanta. A look inside the office of Andrew Locke as he continues to pace this field and continues to stretch his advantage over Sean Roberts up to 14.2 seconds at this point in the event. Roberts still having a halfway decent day, though. Again, Luck on his side for now in P2. He's got 11 seconds back to James Vance, but Vance certainly flying through this field. Had the EOL at the start, then a drive-through after the first lap. He still finds himself up into P3, definitely with some pace around here right now, though he does not have the fastest lap time of the day. That goes to teammate Andrew Locke. A minute 9:38 to Vance's minute 9:41. We're talking hundredths of a second difference between these two. Sean Roberts, though, pretty good lap of his own. A minute 9:97 is his last lap and best of the day so far. Back down in GT, Aldo Secklin. Somebody's off track. Britt Osborne through the grass. Keeps it off the wall. Bill Molfeld in the 911 WJM Motorsports machine. The Garza Law Firm proudly displayed. Cody Steeg still running in the second spot, still with visual contact of the leader, Aldo Secklin. Not getting away just yet, but don't look in the rear view mirror, Cody. Terry Crouch is coming in the other Mercedes. There are 4 on track right now. Cody Steeg, Terry Crouch, then Brack Crouch, no relation, and then Harley Bathurst running in the 15th spot. Taking a look at the lap times between Steeg and Crouch. Best one of the day for Crouch is minute 17:95. Steeg a minute 18:09. Currently, Terry Crouch the fastest GT on the track. Last lap, however, not as fast as the top 2. Terry's an 18:96. The top 2, Secklin 18:23 and Steeg an 18:18. Not the greatest of years, but pretty good lap times. Well, we ran the onboard of Andrew Locke. Let's jump on Terry Crouch here in the Mercedes for a lap. A lap around Road Atlanta from the Mercedes point of view. Certainly not quite as fast as the LMP2s, but certainly getting around here in a hurry. 20 laps already in, 22 minutes down. Just over an hour remaining. While we watch Terry Crouch, though, certainly cutting into that gap between himself and Cody Steeg, we're going to have a battle here for the second position at any moment. Crouch as he looked to the inside down the braking zone, nothing doing just yet. He thought about it for a moment, though. Both cars of similar performance, though we do have open setups here at Road Atlanta in this LSR Sportscar Series. To add to the confusion, some LMP2 traffic rolling through this battle. Certainly going to slow Terry Crouch down a bit to let them get their position and get on by. It's going to open up the gap between himself and Cody Steeg once again. Now, also, a lot of this can really factor into what type of setup these guys are running. We've talked about it week to week, especially last week in France at Le Mans. Guys running really trimmed out setups for the high speed, the top end, but suffering significantly in the corners. Downforce kind of makes the biggest difference at these places. You're going to kind of give up here to gain on the straightaways, or give up on the straightaways to gain in the corners and under braking. Terry is certainly caught right back up. A couple car lengths between himself and Cody Steeg. Top three in GT all keeping a close eye on Aldo Secklin, not letting him get too far out in front. 2.4 seconds from Secklin back to second place Cody Steeg. That gap is likely to grow pretty significantly here unless Terry Crouch can get to Steeg and quickly make that pass. Spend too much time trying to get it done. It's just going to cause Aldo Secklin to get further out in front if those two start doing battle. Secklin goes by, and then second and third, Steeg and Crouch. Terry, that is. TLDR Flo saying, beautiful livery, and go Terry. Thanks for checking in, man. Appreciate it. Steeg almost getting all four tires onto that curbing. Again, some LMP2 traffic threading the needle between the two Mercedes. May have been Kyle Surratt in the fourth position. James Vance has now worked his way into P2 around Sean Roberts. Still finds himself 18.8 seconds behind Andrew Locke. With that said, though, like I said, he lost 26 seconds in the drive-through. He's already made back 6 of those seconds, even on Andrew Locke. Again, a driver of similar pace. Vance has certainly found the extra gear and is starting to work his way back towards the front. Meanwhile, Terry Crouch has completed the pass. Saw it here live. And if he didn't, we'll go back and look at it just in case. Going up the hill, gets position on Cody. Cody just lets him go. Again, that was the perfect scenario. We talked about Terry Crouch. If he was going to make that pass, he was going to need to do it quickly. He does just that. There was some battling between the two, but back on the attack goes Terry Crouch from P2. Finds himself 2.28 seconds behind leader Aldo Secklin in the Ferrari. Michelin putting Harley Bathurst in the Mercedes down one lap. James Vance putting some distance on Sean Roberts. It's about 2 seconds back to P3. And still carving into the deficit with Andrew Locke. It's 17 seconds now between the 15 and the 11. So we just get to the 30-minute mark, lap 26 here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Vance losing connection there for a moment and quite a while, but does come back in, thankfully. We've seen that a couple of times out of the driver of the 11 LMP2, the Fast MD racing machine. With that 30-minute mark, we're going to step aside, go a side-by-side break. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Brazelton, Georgia. Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta for the season finale. The Lone Star Racing Sports Car Series. Andrew Locke currently out in front from pole position, has yet to look back at any point so far today, and he's closing in on some lap traffic in the form of Kevin Blue. Kevin currently running in the 6th position overall. Again, we're only 33.5 minutes into this 90-minute event, and Andrew Locke already starting to catch the tail of the LMP2 field. Already put a lap on a couple of them. That would be Cody Anderson, Tyson Pankow. Of course, the GT cars included. Got to start to wonder, though, we're going to start to run into some green flag stops. Of course, we're going to be mostly green flag regardless, unless there is a major incident on track. But I would expect to see at least these LMP2s try to make it at least to the 45-minute mark, make this a one-stop race. And again, even though 90 minutes versus 1 hour, I would fully expect these LMP2s and probably even the GTs to try and double stint these tires and go the full race distance on the initial set. That may or may not be the case. You might see some guys further back in the field gambling a bit, but as we talk about that, Cody Anderson in the pit lane. Looks like Cody jumped to the pit, so we're not sure exactly what happened with Cody. Looks like handful of off tracks. Let's take a look at the first one here, see if this gives us any information. Turns 1 and 2 here. Oh, he's going to get the wall. And then he gets hit with Kyle Surratt again, trying to get back up to speed. It's pretty blind coming down the hill. And then Cody jumps right to the pits there. So that explains the situation with the 20. It's usually the 17, but Cody Anderson early on here in trouble. Terry Crouch closing in on leader Aldo Secklin. A couple car lengths off the back bumper. We do have a question within the stream chat as far as how much fuel is on board the GTs. Just to cover both bases, LMP2 full fuel load, 100%. The GT category on a 70% fuel load. That is actually the same fuel load they run in the 60-minute races. And this battle certainly heating up for the first position in GT. Secklin's had it since the drop of the green flag, so for about 36 minutes. But with the EOL penalty to Terry Crouch, it's taken him some time, but he's slowly but surely working his way back towards the front, and he's here in a position to challenge Secklin for that top spot. It's within a car length now as they work through turns 10 and 11. And where did Terry go? Terry was right on Aldo's tail for a moment there. Not sure what happened. I hate to do this, but I got to figure this out. There's nothing indicating a problem with Terry Crouch. We did see him go a little wide. All right, so let's pay close attention here to Terry Crouch in the Mercedes. He goes way wide. Puts it up on the curb. Really not sure if he just made a mistake or what the situation there was, but see Sean Roberts, he gets there. He's going to have to rebuild or re-reel in Aldo Secklin if he wants to get back and challenge for that position. Plenty of time to do it, though. 37 minutes in. We're not even halfway. Looks like Terry Crouch is going to hit pit lane here. Oh, getting all he can get. Getting down into the pit lane. Wow. Crouch is in. Cody Stieg is in. Likely at the limit of their fuel consumption here. 38 minutes into the event. So this will be a two-stop strategy for the GT class. Change for the lead out front. Cody Stieg to the front. Aldo Secklin. Where is Aldo? Did Aldo complete his stop? He did. So he hit pit lane, and it seemed the others followed. Terry Crouch still in the box, still waiting on fuel. Cody Stieg also still in his pit box, likely to roll at any moment. So through that cycle of green flag stops, new leader, Brack Crouch in the Mercedes at the front of the GT field. Brack still has not hit pit lane either. Again, no relationship between Brack or Terry. But they both drive a Mercedes, and they're both pretty decent. Meanwhile, Sean Roberts at the front of the field. Pit stops underway for the LMP2 category as well. Roberts now in the pit lane himself. His scheduled stop. They didn't quite make it to halfway, so this very well could be two-stop strategies for both classes, GT3 and LMP2. But you see, James Vance has swung by here, takes the top spot back away from Sean Roberts. Again, he had such a big advantage. I think it was about... well, we say 18 seconds. I don't know if there was a miscommunication in the pits with Andrew Locke and James Vance, or if there was a penalty involved, but it seems there was a 20-second additional time in the pit stop itself for Andrew Locke. James Vance is going to take the top spot through that cycle. They both pit the same lap, but the pit time between the two of them, about 21 seconds and change difference. Locke getting the short end of the stick on that one, as though he's still in the second position ahead of Sean Roberts, but Vance now 4.1, 4.2 seconds out in front of teammate Andrew Locke. So through that cycle of stops in the GT category, Aldo Secklin comes out behind Terry Crouch. We mentioned how aggressive Terry was getting into pit lane, used every inch of pavement and almost a bit of the concrete wall. Luckily avoided it, but likely made some time up getting into pit lane. So he sees himself in front of Aldo Secklin right now here after that cycle. So Brack Crouch, Terry Crouch leading the field. Aldo Secklin is third. Cody Stieg, Chris Pio, that is fourth and fifth. Again, Brack Crouch still on track, has not seen pit lane at all today, short of driving by it roughly 31 times. But here's the situation, too. If you look with Brack Crouch, he's got an 11-second advantage over Terry Crouch. But again, he still has to pit. Even a straight-up drive-through is 26 seconds. So that alone would be enough for Terry to get the lead just on that principle. Brack's going to have to stop and take fuel regardless, unless he's just on a major long-run setup, which, again, is possible. They're still limited to 70% fuel. So you can pack the thing as full as you want. It's only going to get so much in it. James Vance still at the front of the field. 4.5 second advantage over Andrew Locke. That is called bravery, folks. I don't know if you caught that. We were riding on board for a moment with James Vance as he tried to lap the GT car. Harley Bathurst went through there, didn't even blink, and he's around that Mercedes without incident. But a scary place to do it through those S's. Andrew Locke has it easy. He gets by the Mercedes on the straightaway. Terry Crouch running still ahead of the Ferrari of Michelin in the second spot in GT. Britt Osborne, a lap car in between. Opens the door, lets the leaders on by. Brack still out in front with a 9-second advantage, though his lap times are certainly falling off. Last time by for Crouch, Brack that is, 1 minute 18.70. Terry Crouch an 18.04. Interestingly enough, though, that is on new tires, but in the case where Brack Crouch is out there, he's not on new tires, but he is on light fuel, so that car does slow down in a little bit shorter distances and then picks up the pace a little bit faster as well. So it's kind of a wash, though. Terry Brack Crouch is now on the pit lane for his first scheduled stop, and he does it just past the 45-minute mark. So this really, if he plays his cards right, keeps the nose of that Mercedes clean all the way to the end, this is his final stop of the race. If he can pull that off, he's got a shot to win this thing, because it appears that everybody else in GT is on a one-stop strategy. So through all this, it appears Kevin Blue is out of the race. Let's try and take a look at the incident with Kevin. What exactly happened with the 54? Nothing significant, it appears. Just locks it up, slides it around the corner. Maybe that's not it. Let's try this. Lap 33. About 5 laps ago. There it is. Way off course. Jumps back on. Goes wide again. I don't know if that was just an evasive maneuver to let the leaders on through, but I think he's had enough at this point. He's in the grass. He parks it, jumps to the pit lane. So there you have it with Kevin Blue. So we're going to jump, try and pull Kevin into the broadcast booth. He's ready and waiting. Kevin Blue, Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
Yeah, Steve, I got you.
Kevin Blue, admin of the series, kind of the, I guess you could call the general manager, or however you want to put it, the mayor.
You can call me whatever you want. I don't care.
Well, tell us what's put you out here. I know it seemed you were around a couple of times, no major incidents on the track, but we did see that last, I don't know, lap 33 or so. Wasn't a friendly one to you, and then I seen you just kind of parked it. It was just kind of, you've had enough, or what's the deal?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it started out as a pretty good race. You know, I qualified decent. I mean, I think I was 4th in qualifying and felt pretty good at first. Made a few cool little moves there on Kyle Surratt and thought I was going to have a pretty good race. And it just, I don't know if it was the kids in the background or something. I don't know, but I just kind of started losing concentration and missing some braking points. And at some point, it's just, I'm just going to get off the track and let these guys duke it out for the championship.
Place like Road Atlanta, you do need 100% focus in every corner. Having the kids running around, it can certainly play into that. Maybe some better headphones next time.
Yeah, maybe I need some maybe I just need to lock the door on the game room here.
Lock the door, melatonin gummies for the kids, whatever you got to do.
Pretty much, man. But man, I don't know. I was having a good time. It's one of my favorite tracks, and you know, Road Atlanta. It's one of the best road courses in the world, and I mean, it is so hard to pass on this track in multi-class, and there's just not many places to do it cleanly. And you know, I almost ran into a couple guys trying to pass in different spots, trying to keep up, and you know, I figured I had about 45 minutes left in the race and wasn't doing too well, so I figured I'd just get off the track and not risk ruining somebody's race or possibly championship at this point. So just pretty much just wanted to sit back and let everything happen and figure out the points and have everything ready for the end, and congratulate the winner at the end.
Well, that's certainly a bonus. Now I don't have to wonder who's going to give me the points information post-race.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it figured out for you, man.
Very good. Well, we'll get to interviews post-race with at least the race winners, and it may or may not be the same guys that win championships, but Kevin Blue, as the race admin, will certainly keep us posted after the fact. Tell us your thoughts on this whole season. I know this is kind of like your season 2 of the road racing side with LSR. You know, what was the goal coming in? Did you meet those goals, and what are your plans for the future?
I think the main, you know, this series kind of all stemmed from our Spa charity race. We got a lot of guys interested in that, and I mean, you know, you and Zach broadcasted it for us, and I mean, a lot of these guys that are racing in this series came from that race, and I want to say we had like 36 teams in there, so that's you know, over 60 drivers in that race, and what better thing to do than to try and pull them in and start another league similar to that race. I know that race wasn't multi-class, but at the same time, I mean, I don't see many multi-class, you know, IMSA style leagues out there, and I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do, and turns out it's been pretty awesome. I mean, we had some hiccups at first. I mean, you remember Long Beach. Long Beach was crazy.
And that you're going to get that with any league, whether it's brand new or not. You're trying something different.
Yeah.
You're going to run into stuff that you didn't plan for, but it's all about how you recover from it. You guys figured it out. I mean, it was a little hairy there the first handful of laps with the caution and everything else, but you got through it, and the rest of the season has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been some really good racing. I mean, James has come in and, you know, he's won a lot of races in LMP. You know, I mean, he's just such a good driver. I mean, real life IMSA driver, so he knows. And I know he's been testing at Road Atlanta, getting ready for Petit Le Mans, you know, and I mean, he's definitely got an advantage here. Turned so many laps on the sim, I'm sure, and in real life. And it's just always fun to race with people like him. Andrew's super fast too. You know, I've been in some battles with Kyle Surratt and a few of the other guys throughout the season, and it's just been a fun season, man. Like, I wasn't necessarily the fastest out there, obviously, but there, you know, a league like this, you're always going to have those guys that you compete with, and you're always going to have guys on similar skill levels with you that you can compete with in the points. I mean, you may not be up there trying to win the points, but you know, for me, there's always a few guys that I kind of want to beat and are similar skill levels to me. So that's what this is all about: finding your kind of crew to race against. And it's just like real life. You have, especially like Formula One, you have the front runners, you have the midfield, and you have the guys in the back always racing each other. And you know, it doesn't matter where they finish, they always want to finish and beat those guys that they're closest to.
Personal goals, definitely a good way of looking at it, especially in class racing, endurance racing. I mean, you may not always come in, even in real life. I mean, you could have a champion driver, I mean, a super licensed guy come over from Formula One and jump in one of these LMP2s, but maybe it's not the best equipment out there, and he's still not got a shot to win the race. So he's got to set some personal goals for that particular event. All right, what's realistic? Can we finish P2? Can we make a podium? Or do we just have to finish ahead of the next LMP? So it's something that you apply in the real world, but you also do it here in the sim.
Yep. And I think a lot of these guys started out this league not really knowing what multi-class racing was all about. A lot of guys were, you know, GT3 guys were, you know, trying to get off the racing line to let LMPs pass, and that's causing problems. And, You know, some of the LMP guys are super aggressive. I mean, shoot, some of them are still super aggressive. I mean, that's kind of what comes with multi-class racing. The faster class is usually pretty aggressive. But a lot of people have learned a lot about multi-class through this league, and that's kind of what I was wanting to do too. Kind of introduce some of the guys from LSR and some of the guys that might not run road racing to this style of racing. And I know that a lot of them have become a fan of it for life. And it's just been a great league, man. I mean, you've been broadcasting it. We've all, you know, as always, doing a great professional job for us. And I'm hoping that we can continue to run with this group of guys in the upcoming new season after the beginning of the year. I don't know if you want me to talk about that some.
We got the time, brother. If you want to go and give us a preview of what's to come, feel free.
So we don't have a lot of info at this point. It's just more of an idea, and but there's not too many IndyCar leagues out there, I don't think. And you know, I as much as I'd love to just keep doing multi-class, you know, me, you know, kind of quote unquote running the road racing side over at LSR, I kind of want to open it up to all different types of cars. So IndyCar is a really, really fun series, and we're thinking after the beginning of the year, you know, second week in January, starting like a little small 8-week IndyCar series. We don't know if it's going to be half and half road courses and ovals, or if it's going to be kind of weighted more towards road courses. But it's definitely going to be something different than what any of the LSR guys or any of the guys who have been involved in our GT3 league or multi-class league have done. So yeah, after the beginning of the year, look for the LSR IndyCar series. And I know we're talking to you about possibly broadcasting that too, so we'll have to talk later about that.
You know, I'm open to it. My Mondays are currently still free. I haven't even considered filling the hole unless you decide you don't want to go with us. But I think we got a pretty good relationship. I think we'll keep that up.
Absolutely, man. And then after that, hoping, you know, April, hoping you can come race some GT3s with us. Defend your title if you want to.
I might have to do it. We'll have to see how it goes. If Zach Millen has anything to do with it, it might be difficult to do, but we'll see how it goes.
Yep, I think you got a shot. So we'll just have to figure out somebody to broadcast it. But you got to race some, Steve.
Oh, I do a little bit.
Got to get in the car and run.
Running right now. I'm running Fridays with the Numb Thumbs guys in their free ARCA league. Just kind of something to do, and then we're gonna try and get, of course, the SCAR Road Series back up and running here. I think early February, and that'll actually end up running, I believe, on Tuesdays now. A little bit of a schedule shift, but
nice.
We'll get there. And we talked initially it was going to be the Lotus 79 cars. Our buddies over at Old Farts, they were going to do the same thing, so I said, let me switch it up. So we're going to go full road racing with the ARCA car, so that should be interesting.
Oh, man. Well, I remember running, I want to say it was season 4 last year, maybe. They ran ARCAs at Laguna Seca, and let me tell you, that was fun.
I think that might have been with OG, wasn't it?
Well, I was thinking iRacing officials.
Oh, okay.
iRacing, yeah, they ran the official races at Laguna Seca, and yeah, man, that's gonna be fun.
I don't think I put Laguna on the schedule as much as I wanted to, but I did. However, with you in mind, I put Road Atlanta on it. So
hey, there you go. That's gonna be fun.
Took some practice laps in the ARCA car, and this place is a blast in that thing.
Oh, I bet, man. I think back in the day they actually ran like a Busch Grand National race or something here at one point.
Yeah, I know they used to definitely test here, but I don't know if they ran a race. They may have. It's certainly possible.
Yeah, well, shoot, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Busch series.
All right, Kevin. Well, thanks for chatting with us, man. Again, thanks for everything this season. It's been a fun one, a learning experience for my end of it. Again, used to call in mostly just oval stuff, no road racing, but this has been fun and a challenge. But I do appreciate it, man. I got to say, definitely thanks for having me.
Yep, and I want to big thanks to LSR for letting us host the league. If you guys want to be involved, go to discord.gg/Lone Star Racing, and we've got a bunch of different leagues going on. We got all kinds of stuff going on in there, so just join us up and check us out. And I want to thank Chris Goins, Jesse Redding, and Cody Anderson for helping me admin the series. And hopefully we can have them again for the IndyCar series. I know Chris and Jesse are pretty excited about the IndyCar series, so I haven't heard from Cody yet, but I'm sure he'd be on board too. But thanks again, Steve, and we'll see you next time.
All right, Kevin. Thanks for chatting, man, and we'll talk soon.
All right, brother.
It's Kevin Blue, series admin, the Lone Star Racing Sports Car Series. You heard it here first. Nothing confirmed, but it sounds pretty likely LSR going to go to Indy cars for the next season. Kind of change things up, maybe a little road racing, a little oval racing, maybe a little bit of both. We'll see what happens. It should be a good one to watch, certainly fun one to call. Hope we're involved in that. If we are, of course, follow us here, HBR TV1 on YouTube. You can also follow us at facebook.com/HBRTV1. That's the number 1, not the word. But you can follow us there for some details. We put the links for YouTube there as well in case you miss it. Turn on those notifications. That makes a difference in case you forget. Well, you're going to get a notification. HBR TV's live. That way you don't miss a thing. So with that, speaking of not missing a thing, we're going to get a break out of the way as we approach the 1 hour mark here from Road Atlanta. It'll be side by side, so you won't miss a thing. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta, round 12 of the Lone Star Racing Sports Car Series, the finale. Champions will be crowned tonight in both classes, LMP2 and GT3. James Vance currently out in front of the field, even with his drive-through penalties. I believe he does still have one more to serve, but as he stands now, he's got 3 seconds ahead of Andrew Locke in the second position. But a full 43 seconds back to Sean Roberts. It's almost like a free pass at this point. If Vance does his drive-through, the worst he's going to end up is P2. We'll have to see if he's got enough in the tank to do that and then catch teammate Andrew Locke for the win. So right now, Locke led from the start. Cycle of pit stops worked its way through, and then Vance took over the lead. A long stop for Andrew Locke, about 20 seconds. Those Fast MD Racing LMP2s at the front of the field looking awfully stout. Sean Roberts still having a good afternoon, hanging tough in the third position. To be in third to James Vance and Andrew Locke, no small feat right now. It's the top three in LMP2, the only three cars currently on the lead lap. Again, Roberts 43 seconds in the rears from leader James Vance. Pit stops occurring lap 33 for Roberts, and then lap 30 for Vance and Locke. If they're on the same strategy, expect to see them in the next 5 to 6 laps. Let's give it a shot here. We know the top three currently on the lead lap, or are they? Sean Roberts, no, he is still technically on the lead lap. 44 seconds in the rears, but let's try and go through the field here. We've got James Vance, of course, out in front, started at the tail of the LMP2 field, also had a drive-through after lap 1. So he had a 26-second penalty after the EOL. He's got one more that he's going to have to serve. Going to be very interesting with 25 minutes remaining to see if he can make that stop and then gain back those 26 seconds on Andrew Locke. Also, considering the fact that pit stops for service are going to be needed at least one more time before this race is over. Andrew Locke started P1 here today, led a lot of the race in the early portions, all the way up until about lap 30 when pit stops occurred. Andrew had about a 20-second longer stop. Don't know if he inadvertently changed tires or if that was just a penalty or a plan. We're going to find out later, more than likely, as Locke in a good position here to take over the lead and possibly the win if Vance has to lose all that track position with that last drive-through penalty. Sean Roberts, again, we talked about his bad luck early in the season, and it just kind of continued, but here we are in the finale. Roberts running P3, having a decent, solid run. It's all he could ask for at this point. Again, we talked about him being third to these top two drivers, Vance and Locke. No small feat. He's having a good run here this afternoon. Kyle Moyer in the fourth position. Kyle started outside front row in the second spot, has slipped a couple positions. Still having a relatively clean day. Kyle Surratt running in the fifth position, the gold and purple. Looks like a Slapdash Motorsports machine. Tyson Pankow, not Tyler. Don't worry, I'm not making that mistake again. Tyson Pankow and the Slapdash Motorsports teammate running in the sixth position. Kevin Blue officially out of this race. We talked to him briefly. He steps out there, loses connection. That's okay. He's done for the day anyway. Cody Anderson also out of this event. You saw his issues early on, so Cody has gone by the wayside. Meanwhile, Terry Crouch back out in front in GT3. He's maintaining that spot. Fortunately, I see Aldo Secklin down 6 positions. He is out of this race. Don't know what happened to Aldo. We're going to have to investigate that slightly here, find out what the case may be. In fact, here I see it. Aldo Secklin went off track. It was about lap 31. He was chasing down Terry Crouch for the lead, just jumps the curb. Let's back that up. How he didn't have a major wreck off of that, I'll never know. Watch from the blimp here. Again, the Ferrari of Aldo Secklin, that red machine behind the Mercedes of Terry Crouch. This is cresting the top of the hill. high commitment, high speed. Looks like he gets on the rumble strips a little bit too wide, gets a little bit of air under the nose of that thing. Does he get the wall? I don't think he got the wall. Very impressive to keep it out of the tire barrier. But then he comes across the track. Does he keep it off the concrete here? He does. Don't see any further issues. Oh, there we go. There's another one for Aldo Secklin. Let's see if this is what put him out of the event. Oh, runs wide into turn one. This might do it. Still stays off the wall. Back in the grass. Now he's going to have a slowdown penalty. Nope, still seems okay until we get to this point. Well, we saw that one already. And it looks like Aldo's had enough. That's really all it was. No major incident, but couldn't keep that car on the track. Terry Crouch, now your leader with minimal pressure out the back. In fact, really none at this point. Cody Steeg, 22.5 seconds in the rear view. Kevin Blue says, Aldo pulled to Kevin. Yeah. And again, he's such a fast driver. To have those issues late, I'm assuming he double stinted the tires. They do get kind of difficult to keep the car underneath you when they get old. Frustration getting the better of Aldo Secklin here as he does exit the race. But that's going to open the door here. Terry Crouch with a big lead. Again, back to Cody Steeg, 22.3 seconds back to the Mercedes. Then Brett Crouch running in the third position in GT. But we've got an all Mercedes top three in GT3 currently. Andrew Locke in the pits. Kind of when we expected to see it. It's about lap 59. Andrew's down and away. Vance stays on the racetrack. Again, similar strategies, I would assume, between these two drivers. Maybe even the same strat. Locke completes his pit work here and maintains the second position with a 6-second advantage over third place Sean Roberts. Kyle Moyer down pit lane for his scheduled stop, probably his final of the day, as we have less than 20 minutes remaining here from Road Atlanta. Andrew Locke going around Blake Langley. It's going back to that GT field. We didn't really get through all those guys, so let's give it a shot. Terry Crouch, of course, started tail of the field. He's up 10 positions overall on the day. There are a couple of LMP2s that factor into that. Kevin Blue, Cody Anderson. But again, Terry Crouch out in front with a pretty big lead over the second place running machine, the 17 of Cody Steeg. Brett Crouch runs back in the third position. Again, an all Mercedes top three currently. Chris Pio, another Ferrari in the field. 10th overall, 4th in category. Blake Langley down pit lane here for his final stop of the day. Currently 5th in GT3. And then Harley Bathurst in the green Mercedes. He's still out there trucking along as well. That's for P6. Bill Mulfeld in the 7th spot in another Ferrari, the Garza Law 911. Britt Osborne, again, making sure to get all the laps in that he can. Doing a good job of it there. 14th overall in the 8th spot. And Aldo Secklin, talked about Aldo. He is out of the race. Manually disconnecting after some issues on track. Can't say blame him. So James Vance made his pit stop. It was indeed a stop. Came in at lap 61, pit lane time 47.45 with a 19.82 second stop. Safe to say he is double stinting these tires. He's had 2 opportunities to change them, but you're not going to get that thing fueled and tires done in less than 20 seconds. You see Sean Roberts, he stopped. His pit time was 33.73 seconds. High probability he did take tires on that stop. Just trying to gain whatever he can, see if he can get an advantage. I don't know if it's going to be enough here. Again, with just over 15 minutes remaining in the race. Cody Steeg down pit lane. Now, again, Cody in the pit lane here. This is his final stop of the day. Terry Crouch still yet to make his final stop for regular pit service. His last time in was lap 29. Here we are at lap 56 for the GT category. Crouch stays on the racetrack. We'll see if he pits the next time by. Nope, not this time. Crouch stays on the track. Probably trying to get an eyeball to see what kind of advantage he now has over second place Cody Steeg. My end of it shows it's almost a full minute. With full pit lane times, he could stop here and have a pretty lengthy stop, really, and still come out with the lead. His last time in was a 57.67 second pit lane time with 30 seconds in the pit box. I don't think he's going to need to spend that much time in there, especially if he double stints the tires. It's going to be a top off for the fuel only and back out. James Vance coming up on the backside there of Terry Crouch. Just look how much later that LMP2 breaks down into the hard right left-hander. So Crouch in pit lane here. About to be lap 58 to go on the board for Crouch. We'll see if he just goes fuel and back out. He's got plenty of time. He probably could opt for tires if he wanted to. And he came in with almost a full minute over Cody Steeg. That is about a whole lap. Steeg in the 17, just getting through turn 6 and 7 right now. See if Terry goes up on jacks or if it's just fuel. Fuel only for Terry Crouch. He's going to rejoin this race in the GT3 lead. Through that cycle, it appears James Vance has maintained the top spot. Mind you, though, he does still have a drive-through penalty to serve. I'm pretty sure he's still got one more left. Current point standings. We're getting an update from race admins. Looks like Kyle Surratt and Brack Crouch will secure a championship tonight. It is not official. Something crazy could still happen. We've got just over 10 minutes remaining here from Road Atlanta. It can certainly change. Kevin Blue mentioning in the stream chat, James has one more drive-through. We did talk about that. Hope he doesn't forget. Maybe someone should remind him. But again, those drive-through penalties, they take about 26 seconds. as far as lost time, maybe 30 seconds if you factor slowdown for pit entry and everything else. He's only got a 7.8 second advantage over Andrew Locke, so he's going to need to step it up here significantly before he makes that drive through. Or just get it over with and try to push all the way to the finish, see if he can catch Andrew Locke. Nonetheless, for him to be leading at this stage of the game already at this point, the fact he's got the EOL, then a drive-through, is extremely impressive. Of course, Kevin talked about James being a real-life LMP3 driver in IMSA. He's obviously very familiar with the racetracks, very familiar with how these types of race cars do drive. Of course, it's an LMP2, not a 3, but they are very similar. Single-seat, high downforce race cars. Just don't think Vance is going to have enough with this penalty. I don't see an issue with him being the second place finisher. He's got 40 plus seconds on Sean Roberts in third. In fact, Roberts in the pit lane again. Terry Crouch finished up his stop, lap 58. He's back out there on the old set of tires, but just enough fuel to make it all the way home. 10 minutes remain here from Road Atlanta. Trying to find some other battles here on the racetrack. Everybody pretty well spread out. Obviously got some LMP2 and then GT3 cars kind of close together here, as kind of happens very often. Who was that in the wall? It looked like Tyson Pankow, actually. Nope. Kyle Moyer? There it was. Let's take a look and see what happened with Moyer here just a moment ago. Loose off-corner exit. Then might have got a piece of the wall. Not real hard impact, but impact nonetheless, and with less than 10 minutes to go, certainly not what he wanted to see happen. Moyer still running in the 5th position. Didn't catch to see if Surratt was able to take the 4th spot due to the spin from Moyer, or if Moyer was that already behind him. It's about a 20-second difference between the two drivers. Blake Langley running in the 5th position in GT. See Terry Crouch coming in behind there. GT leader closing in. And Crouch has now a 29-second advantage over Cody Steeg. Pits are all complete. Everyone cycled through. Really, Terry can just take it easy as Blake Langley goes off track there through the grass. Lots of runoff here at Road Atlanta. He's got a lot of speed there. Hope he doesn't cut anybody off. Langley back in the throttle. Andrew Locke still running in the 2nd spot. Again, reminder, James Vance, your current LMP2 and overall leader, does still have one more drive-through penalty to serve. One hour, 23 minutes down, and some change. 6.5 minutes remain. Andrew Locke in the second position, still currently with the fastest lap time of the day, 1 minute 8.70 seconds. James Vance, second quick, 1 minute 8.79 seconds. Again, we talked about it early on tonight. These two usually hundredths of a second apart from each other. Vance, of course, a pro LMP3 driver. Andrew Locke, just a home racer with iRacing. He's got some laps in various cars here and there, but Vance has certainly got him learned up. He talked about it, I think it was last week, how James has really taught him how to drive this race car. Certainly paying off, as now the student is faster than the teacher. Cody Steeg making a move to the inside of the Ferrari with a similar livery. Apex Tech Racing, Pro Sim Rig. James Vance in the pit lane. Looks like James had an off-track excursion. Let's see exactly what happened. I know he had to make the drive-through penalty anyway, but here we are with 4.5 minutes remaining. Vance from the top spot going off track. Let's see what happened. I don't know if the car just over-rotated or if he had a hardware failure, but nonetheless, hard impact to the wall. It's going to put him out of this one. Let's look at it again. Nope, not that one. Very interesting. Let's watch the onboard here. Looks visually, just kept the wheel in it, turns it right into the wall. So that's going to turn the lead over to Andrew Locke here with just about 3 minutes remaining. Relatively foregone conclusion currently that Andrew Locke's going to take the checkered flag here tonight as long as he can get this machine all the way to that finish line. The next 3 minutes without any problems on track. There's still traffic to deal with, but not many in the near future. You've got some lapped LMP2, looks like the 91. That's Tyson Pankow, and then further ahead, the 13 and the 421 machines in GT, but those are still a couple corners away. Don't know if Andrew will quite get there before this one's over. He may. Two minutes remaining. Andrew Locke, your LMP2 leader. Terry Crouch, still your GT3 leader. Terry with TLDR Sim Sport, running that new Mercedes. Everybody loves the Mercedes. I think Terry was in the McLaren last week. Again, coming into this season late in the going. Kind of has the freedom to choose whatever car he feels like because he's not in it for the points. He's just out here chasing trophies. Lock through the S's once again. Andrew may get the white flag this next time by. Lock atop the hill now goes down the hill. Final turn number 12. White flag in the air. Barney's throwing it out there. Last lap for Andrew Locke. Put a pin in the season here at Road Atlanta. One more time around for the number 15 LMP2, the Fast MD racing machine. It's been a dominant afternoon for Andrew Locke. Again, an extended race. Instead of 60 minutes, we went the full 90 minutes, an hour and a half. Locke started the race from the pole position, led a good majority of the first third, kind of gave it up in the middle with an issue in pit lane. We'll find out what that was later. James Vance, the teammate, he took over the reins and led much of the middle portion of the event. And up until recently, Vance out with a crash off the final corner, it seemed. Not sure what caused it, but nonetheless, he was going to have to do the drive-through anyway and open the door for Andrew Locke as he rolls down the hill into the dip. Turns number 10 and then 11. Down the hill comes Andrew Locke. Checkered flag in the air, and he wins it here at Road Atlanta. Terry Crouch on his final lap around Road Atlanta. Started at the rear, had to fight his way all the way back to the front, had the drive-through penalty. Actually, I don't think he had a drive-through penalty, but at least an EOL. I'll have to go back and double-check that. We might have talked about it early. But nonetheless, a great job battling back. Again, the favorite coming in, Aldo Secklin, had his problems. He ended up being out of this race, opened the door for Terry Crouch. Crouch now up the hill for his final time. Back down the hill into turn 12, looking for a checkered flag. Terry Crouch is going to win the final here. I think it's 2 in a row for Terry Crouch as he takes the checkered flag. Actually, I think Aldo won last week. But nevertheless, good run for Terry Crouch. Andrew through turns 6 and 7, taking his sweet time. Wasn't given an inch all afternoon long. Kevin Blue in the stream chat saying congratulations to Kyle Surratt and Brack Crouch. So that will secure championships for both of those drivers. We're going to get to them as well as our race winners. These celebrations for Andrew Locke. Well, I think he tried, but we're going to step aside, get our break out of the way, try and get all of our drivers into the chat so we can get a word with them post-race. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Round number 12, the Lone Star Racing Sports Car Series season finale. Championships have been won, checkered flags have been given out, and we're going to go to our race winners first and foremost, and then chat with our champions. First driver we're going to pull up into the broadcast booth. It's going to be none other than Andrew Locke. Andrew, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Andrew Locke, again, a dominating performance here tonight at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Put the car on the pole position. James Vance didn't take a time in qualifying. I know he had those EOLs to deal with, but even throughout the race, he did have the fastest lap of the race, a minute 8.70. Very quick around this place. He led the first third of the race. A long pit stop in the mid portion of the event. What happened there? You were about 20 seconds too long in the box.
Well, I goofed up there. Believe it or not, I actually did testing last night, and the track temperature was over 100 degrees. So it was my thought that if I would change the tires after the first stint, that I would have, obviously much fresher tires at the final stint. And the track temperature dropped dramatically, and I'm frantically trying to uncheck tires, and by that point they were already being changed. So that was that. So.
Well, it didn't hurt you too bad. You kind of had the ace in the hole, knowing James still had another pass-through penalty to serve, but never came to fruition. He ended up having an issue, got into the fence pretty hard, ended up ending his day. Have you talked to James at all?
Yeah, he had an equipment failure, and I got to be honest with you, like if he had not had that drive-through, I would have been SOL there with him, man. He had I may have had the fastest lap, and I only did that intentionally because I saw like a lap or two earlier that he'd beat my previous best lap, and it kind of irritated me, but that's good. We kind of feed off each other. Man's a savage. So, but I mean, his pace was a lot more consistent than mine. So, mega shout out to him. I mean, it sucks that he had an equipment failure. I guess his VR headset died, but, yeah, I mean, he is quick around Road Atlanta. No doubt about that. And very, very, very consistent.
Certainly saw that being the case here tonight. Even with the win penalties, he had the EOL to start, a drive-through at the start, and he was still up here leading this thing. Lights out kinds of pace for James Vance. But you, on the other hand, again, we're talking about hundredths of a second, the difference between you and him when it came to fastest lap of the race. I know you even said he had the consistency, but it didn't pay off in the end. He had the penalties, he had the crash. I do have to ask you, again, being out front, the fast car on the racetrack, how was getting through traffic? I know there was about a total of 18 cars to negotiate by tonight. A little bit LMP2, a little bit of GT3. How was the traffic out there tonight?
Luckily you kind of know at this point in the league who you're racing against. For the most part, it was fairly consistent. I mean, it was okay. I mean, there was a couple of guys that in GT cars that don't tend to hold their line, so that kind of throws you off a little bit. And there's one particular guy that holds his line a little bit too well, even when you're next to him. But I mean, that's okay. I mean, you kind of know who you're passing, and I had tripped over, I forgot who it was in the S's. I was to his inside, and maybe he didn't see me or what, but yeah, more or less. I mean, the guys in this league are pretty respectful, and they do a good job with it. And sometimes prototypes can get a little aggressive, and I'll be honest with you, I'd probably gotten a little aggressive a couple times there when I was trying to catch James through some GT traffic, but for the most part, they do a really good job. So.
Well, certainly fun to watch you out there just wheeling these things. You're watching you in slow-mo here and just watching the rear end of that car. You wouldn't think that a ground effect car like an LMP2 would really slide the rear the way that it does, but you watch it slow down and it's right on the razor's edge.
Yeah, through 10A and 10B there. I mean, that's kind of like the trick to that corner is you kind of slide the rear end out a little bit going into 10B. And that's how you can really get the car squared to the apex and really accelerate up that hill. So it's kind of a trick, and I learned it a little while ago in that car. So it helps out quite a bit going down the front straight, and it's just a great car to drive. I mean, I love prototypes. I love LMP2. It's probably one of my favorite classes, and obviously iRacing, and then in general. But yeah, they're a blast to drive. That's for sure.
All right, Andrew. Again, congratulations on the win here tonight. A great season. Hopefully, maybe the next time we run these things, you come out and get the whole season in, maybe contend for a championship. We're going to let you get out of here, though. Before we do, is there anybody you need to thank?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank Lone Star and Kevin and all the guys. I mean, he really did a stellar job putting this together, and he's always been super, super, super helpful. Great guy to run a league with, and extremely personable, and I really can't say enough about him. Of course, my team, Fast MD Esports, with James and the rest of the guys, and and of course James. I mean, he really puts me on my razor's edge, so to speak, and pushes me. Him and I won Petite this year, so that was crazy. So yeah, I just thank him. And then Grid Engineering, he supplies me for Brandon Cocker, supplies me with a lot of my stuff, and Genesis SimSport, is part of our team as well. So all the guys are really great, and of course you, Steve, for always doing such a good job broadcasting this and putting on a good show. I appreciate it.
All right, Andrew. Well, thanks for kind words, man. Again, congratulations, and maybe we'll see you in the next season.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve. Have a good night.
Too.
Bye.
Andrew Locke, your race winner in the overall LMP2 category. Next, we're going to pull Terry Crouch into the broadcast booth and get a word with our GT3 winner. Terry, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
I do. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well, sir. Congratulations once again on a victory here at Road Atlanta. You had some penalties to deal with at the beginning of the race, and EOL, I know for sure. I didn't go back and double check, but did you have a drive-through to serve as well, or not this time?
No, this is only my second race, so this is as many penalties as I could get, I guess.
Well, there you go. Either way, it was fun to watch you work your way through the field. We were really looking forward to the battle we expected to see with you and Aldo Secklin. Unfortunately, for us at least, Aldo had an issue on track and was just unable to regroup and get back to the back bumper of your Mercedes, but you still end up victorious, and it seemed that was kind of a foregone conclusion, especially once Aldo was out of this thing. Tell us about your race, the strategies that you had coming from the back, and did you have to stick to it, or did you change it up throughout the run?
Well, I was really looking forward to running Aldo. Some of the past broadcasts I watch, I knew he was going to be really fast. And when I realized he didn't have penalties and he could start from the front, my entire strategy that I had in the head going in was out the window. I needed to clear guys right away, get as far as forward as I could before I really got held up, in the early lap, pick them off as quick as I could, and then after that, once I got to third or so, Cody Steig was really fast too, so I just tried to stay consistent, talking hundredths of a lap or a tenth, and not swing too wildly, don't push too hard, don't overdrive the car, because I knew I needed to save the tires for the whole thing too. So it was just really long game, cautious aggression, I guess you'd call it.
It's not a bad way to do it. Certainly keeps the fenders clean on the race car. That is so important. Again, the car looks really, really clean even late in the race. That's something to say for an hour and a half at Road Atlanta with drivers of varying skill levels. You're certainly one of the faster guys out here. I know we might have talked about it a little bit previously, but how much time do you have behind the wheel of either a real race car or even just iRacing? You've been doing this a while?
Never a real race car, just sims, but I've been sim racing on the computer since they were invented. My first sim race was 1989, so figure that's 30-something years. I've been on iRacing since it was in beta. I just don't do officials. I don't like officials. I just like leagues. So I find good leagues like this one and run the wheels off the thing and see what happens. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always fun.
Yeah, either way, it is absolutely fun to watch. Again, congratulations on the victory here at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. We're going to let you go and get to our champions here, Terry, but before we do, who do you want to shout out to?
Oh, the wife, the kids, the grandkids, my boys at TLDR Sim Sport. Looks like Flo is in the chat cheering me on. That's always kind of fun. And at the Sim Pit. So thanks, y'all. And LSR and you, because this whole thing has been really fun in the limited time I've got.
Well, I think they're running Indy cars next season. I don't know if you're down for that, but we certainly hope to see you participate in it. We'd love to have you. This has been a fun one to watch, even though for only a couple races, but I assume we'll see you again somewhere else.
If it's got an engine, I'll be there.
Perfect. All right, Terry. Thanks again for talking to us, man. Good job of these last couple races, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Take care, sir.
was Terry Crouch, your race winner in GT3. Next, we're going to go to our LMP2 champion, Kyle Surratt, taking home top honors overall on the season. Kyle Surratt, your LMP2 champion. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Kyle, you got us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Kyle, congratulations. I mean, we didn't see you real close to the front of the field tonight, but it didn't matter. You didn't have to win this thing to win the championship. And here you are, round 12 in the series, locking up a title. How's it feel?
You know, I feels pretty good to win. This is my first ever league I ran in road racing, so that's pretty cool. I talked to Andrew and Kevin a little bit before the interview here. It was kind of, by circumstance. Andrew had some part failures there and whatnot that led to him not being able to win, but you got to take it how you can get it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, issues with James Vance there late. I guess his VR crashed, and well, subsequently so did he. Andrew Locke takes the checkered flag, but you take the championship, so you don't, again, always have to be the guy winning the races to lock it up. You just got to be smooth, fast, and consistent. You certainly did a good job of that this season. Tell us about your race here tonight. What was the keys? What was the strategy? And just how did you plan to come into tonight to secure that championship?
Well, I originally set out to try and be a contender at the front, but it's kind of hard to do that when you hit everything but the pace car. So this is not my best track, and I ran into Cody Anderson after he had spun out. He left what looked to me like a hole that I was going to take, and then at the last second he turned down and we collided. And I spun out on my own once. I spun out a couple more times trying to avoid lap cars. It's really a night to forget other than win the championship.
Well, championship and still a top three. Again, with Vance having to drop out, he still had a drive-through penalty he was going to have to serve. So I think you ended up where you would have been, which is certainly not too shabby. Sean Roberts, of course, got P2. Just actually glad Sean had a good night because he needed some luck to change because this season's been pretty rough on him. But a good run for you. This place is difficult. Like you said, it's not your favorite, but it does kind of grow on you. I hated this place for the longest time, but I've been that it's growing on me stage.
I definitely enjoy driving the circuit. It's very fun to me. Maybe not to everybody, but it just the hour and a half long race. I know people race here way longer than that, but we're used to racing an hour, so 90 minutes is a little bit longer than what I'm used to, and my hands really started hurting towards the end because I got a direct drive wheel in front of me here, and I was ready for it to be over, to say the least.
Well, either way, good job sticking with it. Again, a top three finish and a top step podium for the title. Congratulations. We're going to let you go, Kyle. Before we do, though, anybody you want to thank or shout out to?
Yeah, I've got to thank my teammates at Slapdash Motorsports for putting in practice laps with me every week, and shout out to JP Designs for putting this wrap on the car, and LSR for putting this league on, and you, sir, for putting on a great broadcast. Really enjoy watching the broadcast sometime during the week after we race, especially after I win, but maybe a little partial there. But yeah, just thanks to everybody involved in this deal. It was a fun time.
Fair enough, Kyle. Thanks for chatting with us, man. Congratulations on the championship, and hopefully we see you down the road here at the next season.
Yes, sir. We'll be there.
It's Kyle Surratt, your LMP2 champion for the season. Last but not least, let's go to Brack Crouch. Seemingly, we didn't see a whole lot of Brack at all tonight, but it was enough for him to lock up a title. Brack, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a good copy?
I do.
That's a good thing. Congratulations on the title here tonight. Maybe not the run that you necessarily wanted. I think you were third in the overall, but it's all it really needed to get you the title here tonight. What was the strategy coming in? Was it just kind of play it safe, keep that thing clean, or were you going to really try and chase down some leaders later on?
Well, it was kind of a coin toss. I was wondering if guys were going to take tires because this course can really beat them up. So what I did is I went with a one pit strategy. So I was in like fuel map 2 and was saving fuel just to get the one pit stop. And, it worked out to get by Chris, but it didn't catch me up to the leaders.
We did see that during the race that you managed to get to pit lane. I think it was like 30 seconds after the 45-minute mark. Able to save a ton of fuel. I didn't notice, did you take tires on that one-stop strategy, or did you double stint?
No, I did not take tires.
Okay, well, it did work out. I don't know how necessarily close the points were at the very end of things, but bottom line is, it doesn't matter if you win by 1 or 100, you still won. Championship belongs to you here in GT3. I got to ask, how long have you been iRacing? Is this something new to you? You've been doing it a long time. Do you have any real-world racing background to you?
Other than high school street racing, no.
Oh, that doesn't count.
No. I started out like most, probably went through all the Gran Turismos, and then got into project cars, and that's when I bought my first wheel. And then I think it was about maybe 2.5 years ago I got into iRacing.
Well, we're on the same path as far as that goes. Gran Turismo for me, then Project Cars, and then January of 20, we jumped into iRacing. So similar upbringing there, and kind of a road racing thing for me. Certainly no real life experience either. I just sit here in front of my computer and look dumb.
All right. I'm in my pajamas, so
perfect.
Just so you know.
See, champions can be comfortable too.
That's right.
All right, Brack. Well, again, congratulations on the championship here in GT3. We're going to let you fly. Anybody you want to shout out to?
Just, thanks again to you at HBR and all the guys at Lone Star. It's been a lot of fun, and hope to, race with them here in the future. I may have to buy an Indy car. I got to look. See if that's going to be the next series.
I think it very well may be. I think it's going to be largely road course, maybe some ovals mixed in, but we shall see. Either way, thanks for chatting with us, Brack. Congratulations on the championship, and we hope to see you in the future.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
It's Brack Crouch, your champion in GT3. We're about to step aside, but not before we go through some race results. We'll start with the LMP2 category. Of course, your race winner was Andrew Locke. Why does it say James Vance? It does this again. Oh, there we go. We'll fix it. That's better. Andrew Locke, your race winner. Sean Roberts brings it home P2. So happy for the 66. Finally, a good run for Sean Roberts. He looked so strong at the outset at Daytona. Could not run away from his bad luck throughout the season. Brings it home with a solid top 2 finish. Good job, Sean Roberts. Kyle Surratt, can't say anything bad about that either. A P3 finish and a championship. Tyson Pankow was 4th. Kyle Moyer 5th. James Vance, after his late race incident and hardware issue, finishes P6. Harley Bathurst was not in an LMP2. Neither was Aldo Secklin. I'm not sure the reasoning for that. We'll cover that later. Kevin Blue, Cody Anderson, Dave Tamira rounding out the LMP2 category. For clarification, Harley Bathurst finished in GT3 in the 5th position, and Aldo Secklin credited with P9. And I don't know why the LMP2 category is pulling up some GT drivers. We'll have to figure that out for the next time we do these things, but don't have to worry about it for next week because this was our last race of the season. GT3, Terry Crouch, Cody Steeg, Brack Crouch. That is your top 3, and it is accurate. Chris Pyle was P4. Blake Langley credited with P5 here, but it doesn't line up with Harley Bathurst is actually 5th, Blake Langley 6th, Bill Mulfeld 7th, Britt Osborne 8th, then Aldo Secklin was 9th. 10th on the field was Dave Tamira. Officially did not take the green flag, so I don't think he's even going to show there. He actually may be in the LMP2. That might have something to do with drivers switching types of cars throughout the season. Dave Tamira, I know for certain, was running the LMP all season long until tonight. So not sure if the system kind of locks him into that category. Either way, threw us a little bit of a glitch there, but nonetheless, those are your race results. You know who won, you know who the champions are, and that's really what it boils down to. Thank you guys all for watching. If you haven't already done so, and if you liked what you saw tonight, check us out on Facebook and YouTube. It's facebook.com/HBRTV1, and that is the number 1, not the word 1. Same in YouTube. Find us there, HBR TV, the number 1. Like, follow, share, subscribe, turn on the notifications. That is the most important part. Tell your friends if they like racing, they're into iRacing, or just kind of watching something for fun. I know it's a video game at the end of the day, but a lot of times these guys put on some pretty competitive stuff, and it is certainly fun to watch in a broadcast environment like what we have here at HPR TV. Thank you guys for popping into the stream chat. We got a little spam here at the end of it, but let's see. TLDR Flow was cheering on Terry Crouch tonight, of course. Cody Anderson early on getting his Hi Steve out of the way. Kevin Blue also a Hi Steve. Kevin Blue also popped into the broadcast midway through when he was out of the race. And then, of course, Harley Bathurst saying, "Let's go, boys. That was a good race and a fun season. Thanks to everyone who organized and Steve for the great broadcasting." Appreciate the kind words, Harley. As always, I'm on a never-ending quest to find out who you really are. It's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you for watching all season long. Glad we could get through this one. It was fun. We were looking forward to it. Certainly looking forward to, 2023 rolling in, I think, January, February sometime. Keep an eye out for the LSR Road Series to come back in action with maybe some different race cars. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.